If your business is not attracting clients, if you're trying everything and doing the same thing over and over again every single day, you're showing up on social media, you're trying to promote your services, and the attraction of your clients is still a massive struggle, it's a sign that you need to pivot in your business. You need to do something different. You just need to change. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you're still not getting results, that's crazy, right? That, you must change something. You must pivot. Otherwise, nothing will ever change. And I'm saying this from a place of love and care, because my role here on this earth is to help you create abundant life by sharing your gifts and creating massive impact in the world. Okay, that's my duty, that's my responsibility, and that's why I want you to be successful. I want you to really spread your gifts, because that's the only way we really get to change this world together. So I'll tell you 3 main pivots I had to do in my business right from the start of my journey 8 years ago all the way to right now. Okay, so the first pivot I had to do was when I just started after 2 months of working on my business, and I mean really working 12 hours a day, really swallowing the content online, learning about social media, learning about how I can make money online with my online business, right? After 2 months, I was doing everything I've been taught and nothing was working. So I hired a business coach. It was pure business coach. At that time, my business was not so spiritual. It was more about, connecting people to their purpose, but I wasn't using any spiritual methods. It was just pure coaching. So I hired a business coach because I simply didn't have the knowledge about social media. I never really used social media. I'm not a social media person, believe it or not, okay? So yes, I had to learn about social media, how to monetize Facebook groups. I really focused on Facebook groups at that time, and it was pure knowledge that I was lacking. And that got me to my first 10K launches. So every time I launched an offer, I would get 10K or over actually, okay? So that was my first pivot, learning just basic, just pure knowledge of how social media works. The second pivot was when I became a mother. That's when I started bringing spirituality into my work. I always thought I saw business and my spiritual side and myself very differently, very separate. And then I started bringing them together. That's when I started helping spiritual workers, healers create 6-figure businesses from scratch. And I was using business strategy with soul alignment. So that was my second pivot, when I actually was not forced, I got the inner calling to teach people how to combine spirituality, soul alignment, soul guidance with business, because that was the main thing that got me to my first 6 figures, 100K just in 6 months, whilst being a first-time mom. So I reduced massively my working hours to 1 hour to 3 hours was maximum I was working, because I was breastfeeding. I was exhausted, I had a newborn, right? So that was my second pivot. And the third pivot, and this first pivot was sort of forced, I had to do something. It was out of desperation, because money was just not showing up, okay? So I invested in my business because I knew I needed that knowledge. Second pivot was more internally, I was called to do it. It was guided, and it was a really easy pivot. It wasn't massive, it wasn't like a spiritual awakening or anything like that. It was just a little pivot that completely skyrocketed my business. And the third pivot was a very, very different pivot. It was very, very dramatic. My business was very, very successful. I call it old business, right before the second spiritual awakening. I was making 6-figure years consistently, working 1 hour a day, 2 hour a day. It was absolutely amazing, right? It was dream come true. I was like, I can't believe this is my life. It's absolutely amazing. And then it all came to a stop. When we bought a house, when we moved into my dream house, it all came to a stop. I was operating at normal level. I was doing the same strategy. Everything was absolutely the same, but the results stopped. all of a sudden, from attracting, like hundreds and hundreds of people, zero, nothing, completely zero. And I knew down below, that deep down, I knew this was going to happen when I moved into a new property, because I knew the minute I get a house, like, this is my time to go big, right? But I didn't know that my old techniques wouldn't get me to where I want to be. They wouldn't get me to fulfilling my purpose at a scale that I'm meant for. Okay, I didn't know it then, now I know it. Obviously, it's been a while since that happened. So I was really forced, right? Because I think if the universe didn't stop me and the clients from coming, it would be so difficult to give up a 6-figure business when you work 2 hours a day, right? I don't think I would have that within me to do that. But the universe cleared the path. And I still was very lucky that I had still income coming in from my past clients. And that gave me, financial security to explore. And, second spiritual awakening hit me really hard. It was complete death and rebirth. It was, awakening of my spiritual gifts. That's when I became a channel. That's when I channeled the whole 5D business model for healers. It was mental, right? Like, I channeled my healing modality. I shifted massively. I've completely changed the amount of healing I had to do every day. I would heal every day for like 2 hours a day. I would heal, I would cry, I would let go. Just as I'm talking about this, I can feel the shivers. It was massive. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, like, hands down. But it led me to creating, first of all, it led me to being so much more powerful in my teachings. My clients now achieve results so much faster. The results are so much more profound. I've become a better leader, coach, healer. I became a healer before I was never a healer. So I know that I needed to do this in order to create really the impact I'm meant for. And I'm not here to create just a business anymore. This is all about bigger movement, right? Global movement about, how we do business is wrong right now. The 3D way of doing business is not right. It's, rooted in greed, fear, consumerism. Like, we all need to shift, right? But I know my first step is to help healers to do this, spiritual workers, light workers, and then we will go big, right? We will go into global. So it's going to be awesome. But I'm just saying to you that if whatever you're doing, and maybe you can relate to any part of my story, right? First, second, third pivot. I just want you to know that if you're doing you're doing the same thing over again and you're not attracting clients, stop. The universe is telling you to pivot, to change something. You need to listen. It could be strategy, it could be energetics. Typically, it's both, okay? Or it could be that your business was working, similar to mine, right? And then things come to a stop abruptly. And that means you are being called, really listen, you are being called to go deeper into your teachings. You are being called to just upgrade your business, upgrade yourself, upgrade your teachings, absolutely everything. It's time to rise, right? So it's very, very important that you listen. Don't do the same thing over and over again. If you don't see results, it's always that you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment, right? Energetically, you're out of alignment. Strategically, you're out of alignment. Just you stop, you reassess what's happening and get help, right? I always say to my clients, and my clients testify it, they're like, I would never be able to do this by myself. There's just so much to do to create a successful business from a place of love, connection, alignment. Then, it's impossible to do this all by yourself unless you want to spend decades doing it, right? So for those of you who are currently struggling in your business, for those of you who are struggling to attract clients with ease and flows, remember, attracting clients shouldn't be hard, shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm forced to do this. They should all come to you with so much ease, just by showing up, by speaking your truth, by being embodied in your teachings, and by being embodied in the person that you've always been down, underneath all this conditioning and programming and limitations, right? The key to your abundance is to fully remember who you came here to be, embody that person, and express yourself fully, authentically with the rest of the world. Okay? Your role here is to connect to your gifts and share them with the rest of the world. That's how we create impact. That's your key to like crazy overflow of abundance. And I'm not talking about 10K months here, right? I'm talking big. I'm talking about big impact. Okay? I don't work with people who just want to have, 2K months. I just want to work with 2 people a month. Like, I work with people who are ready to go big, who are ready to fulfill their purpose, because our purpose is big here. Us as healers, light workers, spiritual workers, we are here to change the world. And I mean that, and I help those people get their businesses all the way to the top, so you can create global reach, global impact, and you can fulfill your purpose. It's big, it's massive, but it's such a beautiful journey of healing, of transformation, of becoming the person you've always meant to be, the leader, the healer, from a place of love and connection and soul alignment. Everything what you should be doing in your business should come from a place of ease and flow and balance and harmony. We're doing it in a feminine way, right? But we are leaders. We change the game. We create profound impact in the world. That's how it all starts. It starts from us. So if that's what you want to do, if you are tired of mediocre life, mediocre results, or no results in your business, and you're meant for more, and you're ready, you're powerful, and you're ready to completely unleash it and create it in your business, then join us in our Meant for More program. We're starting in September. It's a 5-month program, just beyond 5 months, 23 weeks. And I will take you all the way from the beginning of your business, from starting from scratch, all the way to your first 6-figure year and beyond that, right? And always remember, everything comes down to impact and fulfilling your purpose. Money is just a byproduct of that, okay? If you want to find out more, if you want to find out, and everybody, I've had already quite high interest for this program, because currently it's at 58% off, and you get £7,000 worth of bonuses for free, which is amazing. It's such an insane offer, and I'm only offering it now because I'm being called to share this knowledge with everybody. We need to come together as a collective and really change the world, really shift the world, really help, and that's why I'm doing this. But before anybody joins, I don't let everybody into the program. It's so important to me that aligned people join this program. So before you join, I always channel messages. I always ask my guys to see if this is the right path for you, if this is the right program for you, if you will benefit, and if we can work together, if you are the right person for me. So if you're at a crossroad and you don't know, is it the right program, is it not, just contact me and I'll channel this for you. I do this anyway for myself, just to be triple, double sure that we meant to work together and that this is the right path for you. I'm sending you lots of love. Take care, guys. Bye.